All right, afternoon everybody, and thank you for attending today. This is the media briefing with regards to the sewage crisis which occurred 2 weekends ago in Flamingo Vlei, and I'm going to read a prepared media statement. My name is Councillor Karl Bodin from Cape Independence Party, CAPEXIT. Uncaring city officials ignore calls for sewage flooding action plan. The City of Cape Town has ignored calls for a plan of action to prevent recurrence of sewage flooding the streets and homes of Flamingo Vlei residents. Recently, residents were evacuated due to health safety concerns following the failure of city officials to curb the flow of raw sewage into residents' homes. Over the weekend of 4 to 6 April, the normally quiet neighborhood of Sprigg and Hof Roads in Flamingo Vlei was the scene of a sewage disaster, which residents say has never been experienced before. The Tableview East pump station, which had been operating on one pump with both backup pumps out of operation, failed. This caused the mass flooding of all manholes on the sewer line. Following complaints from residents, Cape Independence Party CAPEXIT Councillor Karl Bodin visited the site on Tuesday, 8th of April. Describing what he found, Councillor Bodin said, "It's terrible that residents have been exposed to this traumatic experience. This was raw sewage. The roadway was still covered. From meeting with affected residents, I hear that their properties and homes were flooded. Families had to be evacuated, and I want to thank City Emergency Services for doing a sterling job. However, not enough was done to assist residents. For example, Mr. Toby van Rijn said, I had asked for sandbags to be delivered timeously, and they never arrived. Instead, empty bags were dumped on the other side of the roadway, which had already been flooded. If these sandbags had been delivered when requested, much of the flooding and resultant damage would have not occurred. According to residents, seeing sewage flooding in their streets has been an almost monthly occurrence for almost 2 decades. Despite numerous emails to city officials asking for a plan of action to prevent recurrence, nothing has transpired. Bodin said this is unacceptable that residents have been living under these conditions for all these years. And the city still hasn't resolved the obvious shortcomings with the pump station. This is not only an environmental disaster, but could severely impact the health of these residents. Councillor Bodin emailed the MAYCO member and Executive Director for Water and Sanitation on 9 April 2025. I requested them to provide me with their action plan for implementation dates. They haven't even acknowledged receipt, let alone provided a plan. You would think that the city, which constantly reminds everyone that it's a caring city, would have taken immediate action last week and shared this plan. They owe it to the residents, Bodin said. Councillor Bodin has registered a criminal case at Tableview Police against the City of Cape Town for contraventions of Section 49A, 1E and F of the National Environmental Management Act, Act 107, 1998, for investigation. End.